Good day, everybody. How's it going? Chuck here. What you're looking at here is a computer power supply. And I know you're asking, okay, this is a car channel. What does a power supply out of a computer have to do with a car? Well, for the most part, nothing. But this right here is came out of a computer that I junked out. Motherboard's totally with skunk on me. And I thought, you know what? I know that these computer supplies supply 5 volt and 12 volt. As you can see, bring that pointer around. See right here, your red wires supply 5 volts, yellow wire supplies 12 volts. Now think about that. 5 volt, your sensors on your Jeep or any other vehicle that has sensors and stuff on it. Yellow supplying 12 volt. You can use that for instance if you want to. Hey, if you got a car stereo laying there, you want to hook it up real quick and test if it works. You can turn it on, it'll power it up, but I mean, don't expect to do a concert hall out of it. You are not going to run a big, huge power amp off of it or anything like that. But you can test a car stereo off that if you wanted to. At least turn it on to see if it powers up. Hook speakers to the speaker leads, that kind of stuff. Now, your -5s, -12s, 3.3s, I really don't see much use in those at all. Now, this power supply here is a bit on the different side. It's kind of the reason I'm going to go ahead and hack this one up. Let me show you why I say that. Alright, here's the plug that goes into the motherboard. Typically, you've got the wires that turn on the power supply. When you push the power button on your computer, it jumpers 2 wires inside this plug right here. When it jumpers those 2 wires, it turns the power supply on. The power supply then in turn supplies power to the motherboard. The motherboard supplies power to all the hard drive, the CD drives, and all that, and then you boot up. I mean, it's a little more complicated than that, but that's just being simplistic about it. Well, what makes this one different? It's kind of a proprietary motherboard, power supply to certain type cases. So I'm going to scrap this one out for this purpose. This gray wire is actually what turns this one on, but you got to jump this gray wire and this orange wire. You tie those 2 together, it powers up the power supply. How do I know this? Because on this right here is specified gray, power supply on, orange. I'm assuming that means power ground. But what typically, if you go to Best Buy or wherever to buy now this is a different power supply here. Typically what you do is this green wire here. Take this green wire, jump it over to ground. All you gotta do is a jumper wire from here to here. After you get get this thing up out of the way. Let me pull this right here out. All you have to do is a jumper from this green wire to this black wire. That will power on the power supply. You don't, you can put a toggle switch on if you want to, but what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna tie them together, and down on this particular one right here, this right here I'd have to put a switch because I've got no power switch here. I would have to put a toggle switch on this to turn the power supply on and off. Now back to the one we're actually going to strip or modify, whatever. Alright, a gray wire, orange wire is what powers this one on, but this one here also has the rocker switch on front, or on back to it technically. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this to cut it on and off with, and I'll just take these wires coming off this and just tie them together. So I'll tell you what, let me wire this thing up real quick. I'll give you a quick demo before I chop the harness up. Okay, a little demonstration here for you. And here's that Molex plug, just a piece of junk wire. And do the gray, follow out here, stick that wire inside there. Then we're going to come back here for the orange here. Hope I caught that in camera. You stick that inside there just to make a jumper. Alright, that's all I'm doing, from the gray to the orange on this one. Now the other power supplies, your standard power supplies, you're going to go from green to black. I'll tell you what, here in just a moment I'll demonstrate a regular power supply, see how that one works. But you see how this one is. Then, turn my switch on, the power supply, which is, here's the power supply. I'm turning the switch on it, flipping it. Now, okay, move the, here so you can see what's up. Alright, I already got that sticking into the yellow side, yellow wire here. That's giving us a 12 volt there. Complete the ground, there you go, we got 12.5. Pull this, leave that in the ground. Come over here to the red side. You got 5. Now what's the beauty about using a power supply is that a computer power supply is the electricity is how you say conditioned. It's consistent, it's even, it's flat, there's no spikes, there's no troughs. It's nice even power. So therefore whatever device you hook into it, you know it's got good clean power. It's not going to be getting spiked or anything like that. So there you go, I demonstrated showing you that this side, the red is 5 volt, this is 12 volt on the yellow, and how to jumper this particular power supply. Now I tell you what, I'll switch power supplies and show you how to do the one, if you wish to go buy it, Best Buy, whatever, the typical ones. So I'll be right back. Okay, I've got this other power supply plugged up. You can see here on this one, it does not have a power switch. That switch right there, only thing that's for is to flip from, your different voltages, like be from Europe or Americas, wherever. Just a voltage setting. Alright, here is a standard power supply and the standard pinouts for it. There's your 2 wires you're going to need to turn it on. And I lost my jumper wire. There it is. It's still hanging on this other one. So then you go from green post. Yeah. Well, just make sure you get it in there first. Jump over to the black. Now let's test if we got voltage on this one. Now I don't know if this power supply is good or not, to be honest with you. We'll maybe just be testing a dead power supply. Oops, put the wrong one. Yeah, I think this actually is a dead power supply. Well, I'll be darned. Okay, y'all just seen how to test a power supply, see if it was good or bad. Alright, let me grab another one real quick. Okay, I grabbed this power supply here. I know this one's good. See, this one has the rocker switch right here on it. You can turn it on and off with. It's a thermal take. And see, this one has 18 amp rails on the 12 volt side. This is one I took out of my media center machine that I used to run my TV with. Upgraded video cards, upgraded a few parts inside my media center machine, and the power supply just wasn't handling it. But nonetheless, I knew this was a good power supply. So this one, it's like a standard power supply. It's going to have your green and your black. Yes. So what I'm going to do is take my jumper and you short out, well I say short, jump, green wire, stick it upside there, and the black, it doesn't matter any of the blacks are all common grounds. Stick it inside there, that makes your jumper, as you can see there. Then I need to plug this thing up. You also feel the fan when they kick on. The fan will kick on and you just feel the air come out of them. Then you take black lead, stick it into where the black wire is, which is the negative side. Test red. Look at that, we got 5 volts. Test yellow. And we got 12. Move this meter back over, you can see it. Okay guys, sticking in the black there, red gives us 5, yellow gives us 12, well thereabouts. It's kind of a little shy on the voltage, this one is apparently. This power supply may be on its way out. But anyway, nonetheless, you see that on your standard power supply that has the standard pinouts, you jump the green and the black to make you a bench power supply for test for sensors. I'll get out in a minute. Okay, so now let's go back to the other power supply, finish hacking it up. Okay, which wires am I gonna, which ends am I gonna keep? That one, not much use for me. These ends, I think I'm gonna have a little bit of excessive of them for my usage, for what I'm gonna use this thing for. But the thing of it is, you can get, if you know someone, or go to a computer shop or something, you can get little Molex plugs, the female side, or the male side actually, because the pins are going inside there. Just plug it, just snap over top of this and use it to take one end of it, tie them onto your sensors, snap it over top of this. You can use it for that. So you can leave these on there if you like. This one I have not much use for, because you can't really just buy over-the-counter plugs to snap onto this, because this actually goes into the, snaps into the motherboard. And I'm going to cut that one out. Take a little mess. Yeah, that one's going to go too. I'll probably just leave a couple plugs on this right here. I really don't need that many of these Molexes here. So probably what I'll do is I'll chop each one of these off about right along in here. And just cut them off. Be right back. Alright, let them sticking out like that a little bit. And what I plan on eventually doing is I may give me some electrical tape, pull them down to it like this right here, and tape them up so they don't short out against anything. And give me some more Molexes, plug on the snap on this, and I can tie sensors onto the other end of it. Now bear in mind too, be sure to keep your colors. That which one's 12 volt and 5 volt side. Red being the 5 volt, yellow being 12. Okay, now for this big monstrosity. Okay, as I read the voltage out to you, the reds and yellows we're definitely keeping. The purples, the blues, do not need them. So I'm going to cut them out of there. And probably cut this right here so I can pull the wiring harness back a little bit. But alright, let me clean this harness up a little bit and I'll show you what I've done. So basically I just ran the cutter right across the material, just chopped it off. Heck with it. I thought about being all picky with it, but nah, ain't no need in it. Alright, so first thing we want to do, the ones we're not going to use, which is the whites, blues, and purples. I'm going to separate them out. So ain't no need you sitting there being bored to death watch me separate wires. So I'll show you what I'm going to do is I'm going to separate them wires out, and I'm going to cut them off way down here. Therefore, I'll take and tape them up later on to make everything all nice, neat, and tidy down here. And got as less wires as possible I have to deal with up here. Oh, and also I'll probably take out the brown wire too. So let me chop them out. Be right back. Okay, I've cut all the lengths down to the size that I like, and kind of sort of braided all the reds together, braided this group of blacks together and this group of blacks together, just so the cabling be a little bit more manageable. Took a soldering gun, took the ends to kind of tend them together right there, and did all for that group right there. Now, yellows, I haven't done those yet, and the only thing I really did separate them just to kind of braid them together to make them one group so they're a little more manageable. And give it right there, pull them together, get the ends kind of even. Twist them together. Then I took my soldering gun. Let's see if I can do this and not have to kill the camera to reposition everything. Okay, I tell you what, let me reposition and I'll turn the camera right back. Okay, I've got the wire laid set and got the gun trigger pulled, heating everything back up. And let's see if it's ready to flow some solder. The trick is, once you get the solder to go into the wire, it's easy after that. Just getting that sweet spot to where it'll flow into the wire. I'm not the most master of soldering either, so bear with me on that. And if you guys want to drop comments on good ways to solder, you're more than happy to take hints here. Ah, there it goes. It grabbed. And just dab a little into it. There it goes. See? You just gotta hit that sweet spot to get that solder to flow in. Now we're gonna do the wires to turn on the power supply. Be right back. Okay, I got the heat shrink tubing here, and I've got these ends split like that. Now a lot of people just take, roll them together like they're there. I mean, if we're just two wires come together, a lot of people will take it just like they're there and just kind of roll them together and call it a day. The best way to do wires is to splice them in at the end is overlap them like this, then wrap them. And kind of keep the wiring down on top of each other so that the wire don't get up on the insulation. Okay, see how I've got it wrapped. Why is that? A water hose, the water flows in the middle of the hose, obviously. Electrons for electricity actually flow on top of the wire. So what you want is as much contact of the tops, outer surfaces of the wires to contact as much as possible whenever you wrap them. So just by simply putting them together like that and just intertwine them, you get part of them touching. But if you split the wires like this, put them together, then intertwine them, you get more contact area on top of the wire, so therefore you get better contact as far as electrons can flow. So at this point, I'm going to put a dab of solder on this right here to tie it together. Then I'm going to put my heat shrink up over top of it. Okay, now what you want to do is heat this right here up. And I crimped it right here some. But just for good measure, let's drop some solder down inside there. Let's see. Now what I don't know if you can see it now, but I got a little piece of solder I've cut and folded right there at the top of that. So you take and hold that. Get high, it'll flow right down inside there. So this is where you need kind of three hands, that way you feed solder while you got it hot. And there it goes, it just fell right down inside there. And now once they cool, which I've already done the others, once they cool, we'll slide the heat shrink on and heat it up, press it on. This is one of the ends of the circle, so now we'll just take a slide this up on there. Not that the heat shrink's really necessary, it just kind of cleans up the cabling a bit. Okay, hold on, so I gotta move this one, otherwise I'll shrink it and not mean to. There you go. That's shrunk down. I'll just do the rest of them. Okay, now that we have our little juice tester all built up here, this has a little wire management thing on top of it, kind of keep other cables out of the way. Now that we have our built, let's go take it for a test. Get your position where you can see everything. Alright, we got a negative lead, the black here. which is going to go on the back side here. Red. Remember, the red wires are 5 volts. That's what you want to feed your sensor with. Put that there. And to be sure you got it right, okay, you take the negative side of your lead here for your multimeter. You stick it inside that clip. Then where did my red lead go? There it is. Just to be sure you got it right. When you put it here, you should see low voltage like that. If you got it backwards, if you got these two right here backwards, it'll feed high. It'll be up like 4, 6, 4, 9, 5 volts, whatever. But if you're reading here and you're seeing that, you're good to go. Now let's turn the throttle a little bit. See, the voltage is climbing, so you're testing the throttle position sensor. And you can do this with any of your other sensors that requires a 5 volt reference. So there it is, and I don't have anything to test on the 12 volt side, but trust me, it works. So, not sure what else to tell you guys. Oh, as far as the way I divide the wires up, that's totally up to you. Now I just divide them like this, and I use all the wires here, tie them together just so I can utilize them all and not have to do a whole lot of trimming. And back here in the back, let me unplug and turn this thing out before I short something out. I've got this is kind of tied up right now back out of the way, but I'm going to take some electrical tape and wrap around that to make it all nice and neat and tidy. The reason I didn't cut these off like really short, and that's the wires that turns on the power supply. The reason I cut them super short is the fact that, if I ever want to mount it on something, I can hook it to a switch where I don't have to reach for the one that's on the power supply. Odds are I never will, but just in case. And like I said, you just wrap your electrical tape around that with loose ends, keep all that managed up nice and tight. It's a pretty cool trick. Don't throw away computer power supplies. Make you a 12 volt, 5 volt bench tester. Now how's that? Pretty cool, huh? Take something that was slated for the trash and upcycle it. Upcycling means you took something that was originally slated for trash and reused it for a better purpose. Better purpose than trash, put it that way. Yeah, that's it. Motherboard, case, and all that stuff was all recycled. A friend of mine takes this stuff and he gives it to somebody. He gets a little money out of it. I'm not sure what he does with that, but it's out of my voice. I don't care what he does with it. But it didn't go in the trash. It's, again, you're taking care of the critters. If you think throwing stuff like that in the trash, you're taking care of the critters. If you're taking care of the environment, you're also protecting our place to go wheeling. Remember that. Think about it. So we got 5 volt, 12 volt, ground. Those 3 groups of wires right there, 3 voltages is enough to test about anything that's on your car and Jeep. Remember, don't ever call a Jeep Wrangler a car. You will cause wars, global warming. People who really love their Jeeps, do not ever call them cars. It's wrong. Don't do that. Now, that was my public service announcement. Thank you. Now, upcycle it. Don't trash it. It becomes a very cool, handy toy, or tool. Yeah, that's it. Remember that the turn-on leads, standard power supplies have a green lead and a green and a black. The black's been common across all the grounds, but the green is the turn-on lead. And what you do, you jumper the green to the black, it turns on the power supply. This being an oddball power supply, it had an orange and a gray that turns on the power supply. But it also has the rocker switch here that I can turn it on and off with. Now, if it does not have this rocker switch, you want to put a toggle switch in between these 2 wires. So there you go. So if you got any questions, comments, feel free to leave them down below. I'll be happy to answer any questions I can, and love the comments. You guys got really great comments been leaving about how much, hey, this is a cool project, never thought about this, saves you money. It's all a good thing. Knowledge, spread knowledge, it saves money for everybody. It's just great to do that. So, questions, comments down below. If you like my video, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. Every time you subscribe, whenever you subscribe, I do a video, I'll submit the video, you get an email saying, yo, another video, go check it out. So, don't forget social medias, Facebook, Twitter, Google+, Instagram, your own YouTube channel. Share it out. Knowledge is great. I know I just said that, but spreading knowledge is a win-win for everyone. So please do that. And all of these videos I make will be placed on one site, www.benchtjeeps.com. Go check that out. It has not only the videos I make for YouTube, but it also has a lot of great information that you can print out, take out to your Jeep to diagnose things, printable graphs, decimal charts. I got a lot of cool stuff on there, and it's growing very much. I mean, I work on it every time I get a chance. I'm continuously working on it to make a site grow. So go check it out, www.benchtjeeps.com. So everyone, give me the thumbs up if you like the video, subscribe if you haven't, but most of all, remember one thing. I want you in the YouTube land to have a great day. Peace out. See y'all.